to the Web Summit. It's been an amazing few days here. It's really been mind-blowing from my regard. But actually, when you think about it, it's all down to business. And there's no more important category and criterion than looking at enterprise software. And today, we got 3 of the scaling up superstars to come on. What they'll do is they'll come on similar. We'll give them 2 minutes each, and then we'll run into a Q&A and open up to the floor as well. So welcome to the stage, a serial entrepreneur, the man who's behind Clark. He's the co-founder and CEO, Christopher Oster. Please, welcome.
Thank you so much. So basically, I, as consumer, was always looking for someone who could take care of my insurance situation. And I had very high expectations. I wanted that guy to be very smart. I wanted that guy to be knowledgeable in insurance. I wanted him to take care of all that insurance stuff for me. And most important, I wanted someone who I can trust and that does not play any tricks on me, because I don't know a lot about insurance. And I didn't find that guy, but I found many people that have the same problem. And that was the starting point and why we founded Clark. So Clark today is the go-to point for consumers for all insurance matters. It's a place where you can buy insurance, where you can manage and improve existing contracts. You can speak with an expert, you can file claims, and you get transparency about all the fine print and the details of your contracts. You get an overview of your insurance situation, as you can see here, but not only that. We also analyze the life situation of our customers. We look into their belongings, the health, contracts, and the retirement planning, and give them an insurance fitness score across all these categories. Over the last 18 months, we have grown by a factor of 60. We deploy mostly 3 groups of growth channels. One is digital marketing, second is TV marketing. We came to realize we have a product that customers need to understand, so 20 seconds TV spot is good explanation. And thirdly, we partner with banks, because many banks want to sell insurance online, but there currently is no solution to sell insurance online. And we are the partner of, for example, ING or N26 when it comes to insurance. One very important aspect, as you can see here, is if you want to grow fast, you have to have your operations under control. Otherwise, recruiting will become a bottleneck and will be difficult to grow. And what we did, while we grew by a factor of 60, we built a scalable platform behind and only had to grow the team by a factor of 2 in the same time period. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Christopher. We'll drill down a little bit more next, but welcome our second pitchee, which is Steve Brodie, who's the CEO and co-founder of Electric Cloud. Please, Steve.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Steve Brodie. I'm representing Electric Cloud today. And I want to talk a little bit about Electric Cloud, but before I do, I want to talk a little bit about the problem that we solve. If you look at today's marketplace and today's world, every organization is a software-powered organization. Everyone lives or dies based on their ability to deliver software-powered innovation faster than the competition. And if you look pretty much across every industry vertical, it's as Mark Andreessen said, software is eating the world. And there was a survey that was done by a leading industry analyst, and it said that 58% of organizations say they need to deliver software faster to stay up with the competition to satisfy the needs of their customers and their citizens in a government application. Unfortunately, only 12% of organizations can deliver fast enough. What organizations have found is a lot of people do agile development and they can create software faster, but they can't deliver it that fast. There's a lot of bottlenecks after developers check in the code. And so DevOps has been a new approach that people are using to break down the barriers between development and operations. And Gartner says that 50% of organizations, of global 2,000 organizations, are going to adopt this DevOps release automation in the next 2 years. So Electric Cloud, we are all about DevOps release automation. Our mission is to help organizations deliver better software faster. And we do that with an adaptive DevOps platform that orchestrates, as I said, everything after developers check in the code, automating the build, the test, and the deployment in all the environments on the path to production, all the way through to production release. The benefits are faster cycle time. Our organizations generally improve their delivery cycle time by 90%, and they do it without sacrificing quality, and they do it much more cost effectively by automating everything. And Electric Cloud is recognized as the market leader. The leading industry analysts, Gartner, Forrester, and Ovum, have said that Electric Cloud is the market leader. Gartner has done the Magic Quadrant for 2 years in a row. Electric Cloud is the furthest up and to the right. And maybe more importantly, our platform is proven by some of the largest and most important companies in the world. You can see some leading financial services companies, companies like SpaceX, companies like Siemens, gaming platforms like Net Entertainment. So if you're looking to deliver application software faster, I encourage you to look up Electric Cloud. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Steve. It's great to see. So next up, we'll keep the ball rolling. We've got Fernando Sousa. As well as being an investor at Digisource, he's the man behind VideoSource. Come up.
265 million you play soccer. There are 1.7 million teams and 5 million coaches. All these coaches need their players to perform, they need a competitive team, and they all want to win. And this is across all sports. We at VideoBserver are changing the world of sports by providing access to anyone to advanced performance and video analytics in sports, from professional teams to youth and amateur teams. This way, using our platform, anyone can analyze video and collect stats, and our intelligent cloud will give them access to advanced analytics, to reach any video moment in seconds, and to produce personalized videos to share with the players. We accelerate the process in more than 200%, allowing new possibilities. They can personalize their criteria, but they also can extend this information to fans. After all, your own data and video is private premium content that you can use to share with your fans and engage them. Okay? It's easier, it's faster, and it's better. This market will worth $4.7 billion in 2021. We started this year with US soccer, and one sales guy in Chicago attract almost 100 customers, and we have a high two-digit growth monthly. MIT, the engineering university, chose us to their soccer teams, and 2 months ago we closed with Portuguese Liga to run their 3 professional competitions. We started in 2014. We have 3,000 users across 40 countries in 5 continents. Our revenue is doubling, and our recurring revenues are also growing 27%. We are 10 in Lisbon, 2 in Chicago. We are VideoBserver. We do it faster and better.
Well, that's a perfect way to be. So thank you very much, Fernando. So before our next one, quick show of hands. How many people used Airbnb to stay for Web Summit? Okay, and the rest of you in hotels, I presume. So our next person, who's Matteo Caruso, who's the founder of Vikey, and he is helping improve the check-in process. Take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Matteo, co-founder of Vikey, and this startup operates in an incredibly growing market that is vacation rental, and that is stealing step-by-step, reservation by reservation, the market to the hotels. But probably due to this high growth, there is still some flaws in the business. I mean, have you ever tried, probably yes, to rent an apartment in Airbnb, for instance? What is the main concern you have yet from the reservation very moment? The check-in, right? I mean, let's talk about the market. 2.6 million of apartments just in Europe are dedicated to this business, and they are generating like more than 500,000 of daily check-in that are foreseen in 2018. And the check-in is the real problem of this market. Vikey, good news, guys. Vikey solved this problem. How? The check-in is a really smooth experience with Vikey. Basically, the guests, you just pass the entry phone, and basically, the host receives a call, answers, welcomes the guest, and opens both the building door through the intercom and the apartment one just with the phone. Very, very easy. The guest gets inside the apartment just after 1 minute. Another solution that we want to make the check-in for the vacation rental flight style. I mean, the guest complete the check-in from his country and get inside the apartment with no host effort. Very, very simple, very smooth. But Vikey is not just a fancy technology. You are growing not just because we are fancy technology to do the check-in. We are not like geek. I mean, Vikey is the answer of the market trend. Vikey is where the market is going to. I mean, Booking.com and Airbnb recently added a filter to target those apartments that provide the reception 24/7 and self-check-in. And Vikey solved this problem. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Matteo. Please join the rest. So we've got about 7 or 8 minutes. I really want to give a sense to the audience here that all of you are fast-growing, successful companies, but often you reach a tipping point. There was one critical moment or one series of decisions that led to a point which really helped you grow. Perhaps we can run down the panel so you can give a sense of what were the important factors or decisions that you'd had. We'll start, Christopher, with you. Give us a tipping point moment.
So I think what's extremely important is, because we live in a competitive world and there is so many opportunities where you can grow, there are so many channels where you can deploy money, but money is a scarce resource, so you don't have sufficient capital usually. And the problem is you need to start testing with very little money, like many things, but you need to decide for one channel and you really need to champion one channel, because you need to assume that in every other there will be one guy who's extremely good. Take the travel sector. Booking.com, absolute champion in SEM, for example. Airbnb, virality in word of mouth. So you cannot be the champion in all of these channels. You need to decide on one of them and really nail this.
That's a great way of putting it. I was talking to someone, Ron, earlier in the session, and he said his crucial moment was when eBay did a little newsletter to 200,000 providers. This was Ron, who's behind Cabbage, and he suddenly, they put a little advert into that newsletter about Cabbage, and it exploded. He suddenly saw these requests, and so him and his entire team of 8 at the time went into the office 8 p.m. at night, worked through the night processing those people, scaled off from them. But Steve, can you give us another? What was the tipping point for you?
Yeah, for us, I mean, the DevOps space is relatively new, particularly for the enterprise area. I mean, companies like Facebook and Google have been doing it for a while. And a lot of organizations have been deploying manually, stitching together open source solutions. And what we really needed to do was get some reference customers. So landing a reference customer and making them successful, a very well-known reference customer in the financial services sector or in the e-commerce sector, someone that you can then point other customers to and say, hey, we've done it successfully here, we can do it for them, we can do it for you.
That's perfect. Thanks, Steve. That's great. Fernando.
Our main problem was getting the focus right and nailing in the target market that we want. Of course, when you start with these things at Advanced Analytics, you have the need to go to a bigger club and you say, hey, these guys have money, let's go to the bigger clubs. But at the end, if you look at a competitive league, they can have 20 teams. So you have 20 customers. So our difficulty was to stay low and say our customers is democratized and get to all the other teams and not going after the big ones. So it was a question of focus in what is your market and what you want to do.
Perfect, thank you. Matteo.
Well, actually, the decision we made that boost our business, that grow our business, is actually to move our move the developing of the self-check-in earlier. I mean, we exploited the advertising of Booking.com and Airbnb for the self-check-in, and we gained about this advertising.
That's great. We've got a few more minutes. We can open up to the floor, see if there's any questions. We've got some superstars here. I can carry on chatting. We've got one at the front. Take this. You've got a question? Oh, you were right. Perfect timing, by the way. That was, if you're ever going to do that, that was the timing to do it. I love that. It's like photo bombing. Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, the other one I was going to ask is, effectively, if you think about the risk management as well, obviously you're on a growth curve, how much do you prioritize the opportunities versus the risk? As you run through your businesses, can you give us the key risk that you're trying to manage? And again, we'll start from the opposite. Matteo, come back up this way. Key risk.
Our risk in our business is probably the few technological people still there are that wants to to do the check-in. But it's growing is that we are upgrading, so probably this is all just an old issue.
Perfect. Fernando.
Our main risk is the season of sports. We don't only have a window to talk with coaches. Otherwise, when the season starts, they don't talk with us. They are focused on the competition. So every time we delay something or we don't have money to hire enough, sellers, we lose 1 year. So that's our main risk is getting things right and on time.
Perfect. Steve?
For us, the biggest risk is really around scalability. So we're working with a Fortune 25 bank, one of the largest banks in the US, as their standard for application deployment and release. The scale and the volume of applications that they're releasing in such a short window of time is a critical issue for us and a critical risk. And so we partnered very closely with them. We put some of our best engineers on the engagement to make sure we could do it.
Perfect. Christopher?
I mean, the absolute worst thing that can happen is that you reach this tipping point and you're not able to handle the growth, right? That you get thousands of customers coming in, but you're not able to keep up the quality of service that you had before. So that's definitely something you must have under control, and I suggest that you load test and you just sort of, for a period of time, break out of your traditional growth scheme and invest a little bit more to see whether you're actually able to handle higher customer volumes. And that's something you really need to prepare for and test your system, basically, if it's able to handle that.
Yeah. Very wise advice there. So final sort of minute, we've got a mix of investors, we've got other startups, we've got bigger companies, we've got a whole series of people. Very briefly, if you had one wish list, one sort of pain point that you're going through now, that you want to do a shout out and say, hey, let's crowdsource some help here. Go down the line. We'll start, Steve, and work our way around back to Christopher. Steve, one pain point that you're looking for some help on?
That's a tough one. I think having people just rethink how much you spend on building your own tools and trying to do things in a homegrown fashion, just revisiting that and constantly analyzing that if you're a user that's trying to deploy software is key.
Perfect. Fernando?
Well, we are searching for an investor with the money and the knowledge to help us grow globally. Basically, that's what we need.
It's the cash and support. I like it. Matteo?
We are carrying out our business just in Italy for a moment, but we would like to expand this in all Europe, so we are looking for funds to do this.
People to help you grow across Europe. Okay, that's good. Christopher?
Big challenge is trust. So we are fintech. Customers trust us with their money issues. So you need to find a way to get to the customers across that you're a trustworthy company.
That's perfect. Well, these guys will be around for a little bit afterwards, so please join me in thanking this wonderful panel.